Good morning, Warriors. Vigor Warriors 2 here with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and channel. Welcome, guys. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. Hope everything's going well. Hope you guys are continuing your goals, purposes, and moving ahead. We are at April 4th, 2022, and we're moving along, getting closer to 700 days of NoFap, and I think it's like 190 or something like that with, I keep forgetting, but 190 for monk mode. So we're moving ahead with all this, and hope you guys are doing well and had a nice weekend and enjoyable, and I hope you rested a little bit yesterday, or whatever Sabbath day you end up taking. Just relax a little bit and kind of get ready for the week. So today, and once again, please thank you for all the subscriptions, like, comments, donate. Please go ahead and continue doing that. I always enjoy those type of things, and it's a pleasure to kind of have you kind of giving feedback, and I appreciate all the comments. I think I'm up to 380 subscriptions, something like that, and that's good. We're getting close to 400, and we're getting closer. We're getting close to 500, then we'll go to 1,000, and we'll keep moving along. So, but the main thing is not so much subscriptions, but the main thing is to try to get this information out, which is happening. So, we'll try to do it on a daily basis if we can. If not, we'll do it at least a few times a week. So today we're going to talk about an interesting type of thing that I was looking at and thinking about, and I saw a video on the five senses, and I was thinking about the five senses, and the ones I'm talking about here, and I had written down actually, is the eyes, the sense of sight, the nose, the sense of smell, right, the tongue, the sense of taste, and the ear, the sense of sound, and then the skin, the sense of touch. Now, this is a great video, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the link down below of Pranagod, who is the person who is sending this, and I'll put the link their link down below as well. But it's a nice little video, only a few minutes long. Nice little video talking about the senses, and I want to kind of comment on it because I thought it was very, very, very good on what they did here. And what they did was they basically went ahead and kind of talked about how the senses become affected when you're talking about our retention plan and our retention journey. So here's the premise of it, which I think was very insightful. So I have to kind of give a shout out to Pranagod and their video here. You cannot release and get tempted without the information going through one of these senses. And that's important to realize. Let me say that again. You cannot go ahead and get tempted, release anything, even get to that point, without recognizing that it's affecting one of your senses. One of your senses is reacting to this. Let's kind of give us some examples of this as I look at this. So the sense of sight, obviously, when you're looking at materials or images, that's starting to create an image in your mind. But it starts with your eyes seeing this thing. And so obviously, you want to avoid these things. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to do that, but you can actually go ahead and stop yourself once you see it and adjust to it. So that's one of them, okay? So that sight is very important. The nose, smell of the nose. Now, you don't see as much of this, but I will say this much. One of the things that can attract people and to get you into that temptation type of mode is things like perfume and cologne. If you're a woman, someone's cologne could affect you. If you're a man, someone's perfume could affect you. I mean, the Bible talks about lots of situations, talks about the adulteress who's got, myrrh and frankincense in the bed and all kinds of perfumes and all this stuff to make the act a very special and exaggerated type of thing, over the top, right? Dressing a certain seductive way, all these type of things. There's perfume all over the place, candles, all kinds of stuff, and they give the kind of setting here where people are intrigued by the actual smell, of the situation. So that can attract you. All right, number 3, tongue. Well, taste the tongue. You don't have as much of, obviously, of that, because most of the taste of tongue are things like food and things like that. However, once again, in a tempting type of situation, a lot of people, have dinner, they have a special type meal, puts them in the mood, romantic type of mood. And here again, you're being tempted. Now, of course, these situations are ones that you really want. And once again, you're with that special person or your husband or wife. That's a whole different type of situation. But we're talking about situations where you could be involved in adultery situations, or situations where you can actually lose your energy. And, not willingly, not I shouldn't say willingly, because you are willing to do it, but you're being tempted to do it. And it's good to recognize these temptations. Sound, of course. You hear a lot of music, a lot of things playing around in the background. All these things heighten your senses. And let's kind of be real about this, guys. Basically, what the whole act is to heighten all your senses, so that you're actually getting the most pleasure out of this you can. And so this is why you have to continue to heighten these things when you're addicted to this stuff. And you have to kind of heighten either the music. You have to heighten one of these senses. I think this is a very interesting thought. Just like I thought that Harold's thought with the bank analogy was good. This is another one of these analogies. And obviously skin is the last one, touch. Again, a lot of touching, those type of things. So all these type of things really get you into a position in which you're basically getting tempted. And it is how we get tempted all the time. And we have to be knowledgeable of that, because if we can control some of those things, all of a sudden now the temptation level goes smaller. Okay? Now we're all different in these levels. Okay? If someone comes up to you and touches you, and I react like this sometimes too, then you start feeling certain things. Of course you do, right? And you have to be careful of those type of things. If someone plays some music, they get aroused that way. It all goes back to this whole idea of arousal. Are you getting aroused? Are you actually getting excited to the point where now it's possible that you're going to go ahead and release, and it's a situation where you do not want to release, and those type of things. So this is a key thing. We talk about all these type of things, going back to eyes again. So the first thing, let's focus on all 5 of these. Eye is the first one. You have to make sure that when you're looking at sights, that you're looking at and keeping your eyes on positive things. When they talk about flee from temptation, most of the temptation comes through the eyes. And you have to be very careful of what you're seeing on a daily basis. Obviously, that's why I don't watch TV that much anymore. Maybe for a sporting event, but the commercials, all the stuff that I'm seeing is stuff that I don't really want to see, because it brings into your world all these type of things again that you're trying to get away from and avoid. And because people are trying to sell you things or create a different type of you that you don't want to be, because they want to brainwash you into thinking this is the way life should be, well, you're going to be persuaded, right? And you're going to be persuaded to go ahead and release, and now you're back to square one again. So the thing is, what you really want to do is make sure that you're focusing on knowing how to try to modify the effects of your senses. And so that's the eye one. Now, what about the nose one? Well, of course, what you're going to do is you're going to have to try to recognize these situations. So a lot of these are in combination, so it's not as bad as it may seem. But certainly when you recognize, situations where you got, fancy smells in a room and things like that, you're going to react to it, and you're going to try to say, okay, I don't want any part of this. I'm not going to go ahead and move into this type of situation. That's kind of the key to it. So as you look at this, it's important to recognize that, I don't want to put myself in positions in which it's going to affect me. Okay. Number 3, tongue. Obviously, you want to kind of stay away from having exotic meals and these type of things in situations. A lot of this is the aura, the ambiance behind the situation. Those type of things affect you. And so the food by itself may not. But again, gluttony is a big part of things. And so whether you're gluttonous when it comes to sex or when it comes to, food, things like that, all these things can be these type of gluttonous type of behaviors. So you have to be kind of careful of that type of stuff. So the third one is the tongue. Now, the fourth is the ear. Again, recognizing that situations can present themselves where, you're hearing music. For instance, like you're at bars or clubs, things like that. These types of situations are really rift with all kinds of possibilities of things that can get you in trouble. And you have to be very careful when you're in these type of situations, especially if you put yourself in these positions. And that's something you have to be careful as well. And then the last one certainly is the whole idea of skin and your touch. And you have to kind of be careful of that whole thing. So you have to be careful of not allowing things or people to kind of reel your senses in, and to be able to kind of put yourself in a position where you have a lot of things going on with your senses, and you're able to avoid all these negative types of situations. So I'm kind of in the sun here a little bit here, so I'm kind of just moving around with it. So the thing is, guys, you want to try to make sure that as you're looking at things, that you're really kind of looking at realizing that your senses are a big part of temptation, and that's what creates a lot of the problems that you have, is that something is going to your senses. Something is affecting your senses to the point where now you're moving on to the next one. Remember, guys, all this is about pleasure. The evil one wants you to feel pleasure, because the pleasure and the pain go hand in hand. Now, you don't see the pain most of the time when you have the pleasure, but the idea is that eventually you'll see the pain of the situation when you're releasing. But that's because a lot of times the evil one does not want you to be able to stop and know that this is what not good for you. And it's almost like you're kind of, the Bible talks about leading the lamb to the slaughter, right? You start having intercourse with people, you don't know who they are, and all these type of things, and body counts. You never know all the negative effects you're going to have. It's almost like leading a lamb to the slaughter. And that's kind of what you're doing. So, all right, my friends. Well, these are interesting type thoughts. Again, I'm going to put the link down below, and make sure that you get a chance to kind of view this a little bit. It makes a lot of sense to me. There's a lot of positive that can come from it, those type of things. And it's really kind of something to look at and make sure that you kind of be aware that your senses play a huge role in how you get tempted, and also how you can kind of fight that temptation. All right, guys. So have a great day today. This is April 4th, 2022. And we'll see you next time. Until then, God bless, and battle on, my friends. Battle on.